Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing JAMB and the UTME results. Dr. Fabian, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so I'm going to get one more question for you. Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, so Dr. Fabian, initially when you were speaking, you said that the reason why you're looking into this was because of the response or the avalanche of, complaints that you were receiving. And we're looking at the scores. Just looking at the scores, we're seeing that 78.5% of those who wrote the exams, scored below 200. Didn't that number just by itself, even before the complaints, didn't it raise questions for JAMB?
You see, first of all, you have to understand the purpose of a team before you will be able to dive into it to criticize or make an informed opinion. The examination we do is not a pass or fail examination, because I believe we need to really get this clear, because the public is making a lot of mistake when it comes to looking at the data, the statistics, in the sense that they view it. We are doing a selection examination for tertiary admission. It is not a reflection of the ability of the candidate, because if we are doing aptitudinal examination, the aptitude examination is what is a reflection of the true ability of the candidate. What we do, we interface with this candidate for 2 hours. They have spent 6 years in the primary school, 6 years in the secondary school, and then they have 2 hours with us. You cannot begin to look at that 2 hours that they have interfaced with us and begin to use it as a measure of standard. So for us, we don't look at it from the angle of whether somebody has scored 200 and above or 200 and below. The most important thing to us is that, look, we have done this examination. We will look at the parameters, the choices of this candidate. We look at the available spaces in the tertiary institution based on their preferences and see how we can match we send this result to the tertiary institution, and then they use it for the purpose of admission.
I don't understand. Okay. I'm not sure you answered the question.
No. Well, I think he has, but also the way that you've responded to me, for me, that's a red flag. And it's a red flag because I believe that JAMB, beyond what you've just explained also, should be able to use this examination for raising data, right? So we have data to show that a large percentage of Nigerian students that wrote these exams scored much lower than they've done in a very long time. And I believe that if JAMB is working with Nigerian parents and with students, it should be able to look at it as, as like a significant, look at it as something to say there may be a problem somewhere. There may be a problem either with the educational system, either with students and how they are writing JAMB. After all, JAMB has made several improvements over the years as well. So when there's the numbers are showing like this, JAMB should be able to wonder at least if the changes or improvements or whatever it is they've done is affecting how children are writing their exams. So it's not just to say, well, we've done our own and then everybody should leave.
For me, it doesn't.
Yes, for me, we're all in this together. Yeah. So JAMB shouldn't hold off itself as well. We've done our part. You figure out the rest yourself. Everything, as you've said before, is to be done holistically. And if that is what you mean, then definitely you provide data that would, be important in how we look at how children perform in JAMB, especially if in this period we're wondering if their abilities, have been truly reflected in the numbers that JAMB has given them.
Well, let me make this thing very clear. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board was established by the universities. It was not even a creation of government. It was the university that came together then when the numbers were increasing and felt that, look, let us have a body that will regulate the process of admission to ensure that we don't have multiple admission. The basic reasons for the establishment of JAMB was to eliminate multiple admission and to ensure that the few spaces that are available are properly utilized. And that explains why, if you look at the name, Joint Admissions and Matriculation, if the framers of the board had examination in mind, the examination would have been fused into the name to be part of the name. Examination only became a vehicle because there is no any other process that you can give this candidate a fair and level playing ground for everybody to compete. If tomorrow we wake up and we have enough spaces for especially the highly subscribed programs, we will not even be conducting any examination again. Examination is just a vehicle for us to ensure that even that candidate who in the final analysis is not admitted, at least he or she is satisfied that, look, I am not admitted, not because somebody is taller than me, or not because somebody is highly placed than me, but because I could not measure up to the person that is admitted.
So Dr.
I don't want us to place more emphasis. Yes.
Dr. Fabian, let me pause for a second. Let me let Nima come in here.
I think that purpose of, just admissions and has already been defeated, because if you say that the same institutions that put together this board have started doing what is called UTME. So they now start to grade the students on their own. And so examination is what JAMB is now known for. Do you in any way, what Miriam is saying is that, gather the data that you get every year from the performances and partner institutions like Mr. Onyia's institution or other, mostly secondary schools, because we're looking at people who are trying to get first degrees into the institutions that put together JAMB as a board and give them feedback on things to improve upon. Are supposed to just conducting exams.
Moving on.
The performances of the students who are partaking in these exams part time should be, observed, and improvement should be done. Things should be eased out. New innovation should be brought in. What are you doing with that data?
Well, sorry, I didn't get what you have said clearly. But I heard you talk about
Post-UTME is now being done by the institutions that put together JAMB.
Very good.
It's joint admissions and matriculation.
And let me explain. Let me explain that. If you look at in the last 8 years, you will notice that even the institutions that are conducting the number of institutions conducting post-UTME has dropped significantly. We have less than 10% of the institutions conducting post-UTME now, and the reason being that there is high correlation between the examination we conduct and the performance of the candidate when they are admitted. But that is not even the issue. There is no system anywhere in the world where the tertiary institution does not have a say in who they admit. Naturally, the University of Polytechnic will also do a level of screening to be sure that they are satisfied with whoever they are taking in. The screening could be academic, it could be moral, it could be social, and whatever it is. You cannot say for whatever reason that a university, a polytechnic, or a college education should not have a hand completely in whoever they admit.
That is not
because in the final analysis, what the candidate graduates.
Kindly listen, let me put it again. That's not what we are saying. So let me tell you, we know that post-UTME means that your JAMB score, your WAEC results, as well as another exam usually conducted by the institutions. That's what post-UTME cumulatively gets. So you can have a 300 and something in your JAMB, but if you don't get 99 or something in your post-UTME result, an institution can decline your admission. So we are saying that those bodies that put JAMB together are already doing another kind of assessment for the candidates they want to admit. What is JAMB doing with the data of the performances of their subscribers every year? If you had heard me clearly, I laid a foundation.
I told you that one of the basic reasons when this same institution you're talking about established JAMB was to ensure that, one, there are no multiple admission. Two, there is fairness and equity in the conduct of admission. I told you this in clearly. The fact that they are doing post-UTME does not mean that the essence of the establishment of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board is defeated. No, it is only a second layer of check to say, let us also have an input in whoever comes to us. It does not in any way say that we are losing confidence in whatever you are doing. Not at all. Ask any vice chancellor today, ask any provost today, ask any rector of tertiary institution today, he will tell you that, look, the establishment of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has enhanced the performance, has enhanced the conduct of admission, has engendered equity and fairness in the process of selection of the resources that we call admission.
Okay, let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.